Hey guys, I'm going to do a video real quick. This one for UFC 294 because two of the fights got changed around, and so we've got to make new predictions on them. So we'll get right into it, starting off with Khamzat Chimaev against Kamaru Usman. This is a much different fight than it would have been had it been Paulo Costa. This is, in my opinion, a much closer fight than it would be with Paulo Costa. You know, Kamaru is smaller than Costa, but without a doubt a better fighter than Costa. And Khamzat would have had some challenges with both of those guys, but I think he's going to have a lot more challenge with Kamaru Usman, especially given the fact that Kamaru is a much better wrestler than Paulo Costa is. And on top of that, Kamaru's striking has improved so much more than I think most people probably expected it to at this point in his career. And we all know that Kamaru Usman has knockout power in his hands. Just because we don't see it all that often doesn't mean it's not there. And on top of that, this is a fight at 185 rather than 170. This is a whole different weight class for Kamaru Usman. Kamaru's going to be able to come into this fight a lot bigger. He's going to be able to come into this fight a lot less drained from the weight cut. So the chances of him looking really good in this fight are pretty high, I would say. But as far as how he stacks up against Khamzat Chimaev, I like his chances. I think Kamaru Usman has a pretty good chance of beating and maybe even finishing Khamzat Chimaev. Like I said in the last video, Khamzat Chimaev's fighting style is very straightforward. He's going to rush Kamaru Usman, and even if he doesn't end up rushing him, he's still going to have a lot of pressure put on to Kamaru Usman. Now, Kamaru is the more experienced fighter, so I think he's going to be able to weather that storm. And should this fight go to the ground, I think Kamaru is really going to surprise Khamzat Chimaev with his grappling ability. As far as I see it, these guys are neck and neck with each other. You know, Khamzat Chimaev, he's been trailblazing through the UFC so far, 5-0. In his fight with Gilbert Burns, though, we did see his gas tank come into question. And I can't remember the last time that we saw Kamaru Usman get visibly tired. So I think in terms of the gas tank, Kamaru's got the advantage there. So I think the deeper this fight goes, the better we'll see Kamaru look. And on top of that, it's a 3-round fight rather than a 5-round fight, which Kamaru has been doing nothing but 5-round fights since about 2019. And with a 3-round fight, he's going to be able to push a lot harder than he does in the 5-round fights. He's not going to have to wait and try to preserve some energy for those championship rounds. And for this fight, I'll just say it straight up, I think Kamaru Usman is going to win this one. So for this fight, I've got Kamaru Usman. And on to the main event. Sadly, we will not be able to see Charles Oliveira attempt to regain the lightweight title against Islam, but we will get to see Volk attempt to take that title from Islam for the second time. And like I said just in the last video, I said that I was one of the people that thought Volk won that fight whenever he fought Islam the first time. And now they're fighting again, and I feel very much like I can't pick against Volk in this one. Volk always somehow, some way, is able to make an improvement, an adjustment, some kind of change to the strategy or the game plan in order to get his way in every fight that he's in. Islam Makhachev won that last fight very narrowly, but I still think you could argue that Volk won that fight, and I think Volk, even though he wasn't given the fight by the judges, I think he'll still be able to come into this fight having made adjustments from the last time they fought. And you just gotta really praise Volkanovski for having the heart and determination to accept a fight of this magnitude on such short notice, which I know the short notice is going to have some effect, but I really don't think it's going to have that much effect. After all, I don't think that either Kamaru or Volkanovski would have taken these fights had they not been well prepared. So let's not act like Volkanovski and Kamaru Usman are just hopping off of their couch for this fight. No, they've been in the gym, they've been training, they've been getting ready for these guys. And out of everybody that has fought Islam, except for the one guy that knocked him out, Volkanovski had the most success. Not only did he have the most success, he was the guy that a lot of people said, no, Volk won that fight. These judges got it wrong. And coming into this fight, I think Volkanovski is going to shock the world. However it goes, knockout, submission, decision, I don't know. I think Volkanovski is going to win this one. I mean, the last time that these two fought, this was the toughest test Islam has ever had, and now they've got to do it again. And Islam, the whole time, has been training for Charles Oliveira, only to find out he's not fighting Charles and instead will be fighting the guy who gave him the toughest fight of his life. And Volkanovski has most likely been getting ready for a long time just for this fight in case Charles pulls out. And so for this one, I've got Alexander Volkanovski. And so to recap all the fights that I've gone over for UFC 294, both including the last video and this video, if you want to catch the breakdown of the other 3 fights, go to the last video. But to recap, I will be taking Muhammad Mokaev, Ikram Aliskerov, Magomed Ankalaev, Kamaru Usman, and Alexander Volkanovski. And it looks like that's all I got for y'all. So hit like, subscribe, and all that.